I'm Mr. Humbledink and welcome to the Fighter Update. Alright everybody, so UFC have given us another fighter update. This one is a big update. So the first fighter we're going to be looking at today is Frankie Edgar. He's had a minor adjustment. Obviously he just fought Marlon Vieira and got knocked out in the third round with that beautiful push kick to the chin. He's got a +2 to his sub defense, a +1 to his ground striking, and a -2 to his chin up. So let's move on to the next fighter. Okay, so the next fight we're going to be looking at is Mackenzie Dern. She suffered a loss to Marina Rodriguez by decision. She showed some heart, she showed some chin, she showed some accuracy, but at the same time she was beat. But she's been upgraded for a loss, +4 to her accuracy, +2 to her chin, so a small minor upgrade, but not sure if it's deserved, but you know, ear logic. Right, so the next fight we're going to be looking at is Alexander Volkov, and he showed some great takedown defense in his last fight against Marcin Tybura. He has a +3 on his takedowns, a +2 on his top control, a +1 on his sub defense, and a +3 on his ground striking. So overall, just helping him kind of stay on the feet and keep it where it is, but no real adjustments to his striking at all. So interesting how they've decided to do that. So next fight we're going to be looking at is Alexander the Great Hernandez, and he won his fight against Mike Breen in the first round with a knockout. He's got +1 on his punching power, +2 on his clinch striking, and +1 on his head movement. Alright, so the next one's an interesting one because we've got Tim Elliott, who suffered a loss to Mateus Nicolou, and they've actually given him an upgrade. So he's had +3 to his accuracy, +2 to his punch power, +1 to his head movement, +1 to his footwork, and +4 to his switch stance. They must have really liked what they've seen out of Tim Elliott in that fight, but interesting how they give such a big upgrade for a loss, but they have in this case. Okay, so this one is really confusing to me. So Tiago Santos, who fought Johnny Walker and beat him by decision, didn't get an upgrade. Yet Johnny Walker, who lost to Tiago Santos by decision, got an upgrade, and a big significant upgrade. He got +7 to his switch stance, +2 to his punch speed, +2 to his kick speed, +1 to his cardio, and +1 to his chin. Really bemuses me how EA Sports kind of picked Johnny Walker over Tiago Santos to get an upgrade there. I'd love to dig into the minds of the guys who make these decisions and figure out why they did that. And this one we're going to do a double because these guys fought each other and both of these guys received upgrades or nerfs. So Reginald obviously got beat in the first round by Bobby Green. Reginald gets a -1 to his punch speed, -1 to his chin. Bobby Green gets a +1 to his punch speed, a +2 to his punch power, +3 to his accuracy, and +2 to his footwork. Great work from Bobby Green. It's nice to see him on the win column, but for Reginald, it's just disappointing at this moment, but hopefully we see him back and hopefully we see the Reginald of old. Alright, so the next fight we're going to be looking at is the Lee versus Khamzat Chimaev fight. Obviously this was a dominant performance for Khamzat Chimaev, a very impressive one. But interestingly, Lee gets a +1 on his block, a +2 in his head movements, a -1 on his takedowns, and a -4 on his submissions. Khamzat Chimaev gets a +1 on his top control, +1 in his subs, and a +1 in his ground striking. For me, that's not enough. Khamzat Chimaev should have got a huge boost after that one, becoming a top contender in the welterweight division, or also the middleweight division. But he should have really, for me, been boosted a bit more. Let me know if you agree in the comments. So now we're getting down to the nitty gritty of these fights, and we've got Rose versus Zang. Both these women were fantastic in their fights. Rose Namajunas comes out on top with a unanimous decision in a hard-fought fight against Zang, who I thought Zang looked fantastic in that fight. You can tell she's been training with Henry Cejudo. She just looked amazing. So Rose gets a +3 on her block, +1 on her head movement, a +12 on her switch stance, and a +2 on her cardio. I really think they should have given her some ground stats to help her, like top control. She did a really good job of controlling Zang, especially in the later of the rounds. And Zang gets a +3 on her takedowns, and a +2 on her bottom control. I just think that Rose deserved a bit more to do with the grappling, because that's what she really showed in the later rounds of that fight, which kind of won of the fight in the first place. So I feel like they've missed the ball on that part, but it's good upgrades no matter what. This one I'm kind of still in shock from. Glover Teixeira beats Jan Blachowicz in the second round with a submission. just incredible. The guy never quit, never stopped, and he became a world champion at that age. It's incredible. So he gets a +2 in his top control. It's +1 in his submissions and +1 in his clinch control. I'd love to have seen some more upgrades to Glover because I wanted it to be a bit more of a usable character. But Zang gets a -1 in his bottom control, a -2 in his submission defense, a +1 in his clinch control, and a +1 on his recovery. But fantastic for Glover. I think everyone's happy for him. So now we move to Costa versus Vettori. Costa got a +3 in his takedowns. He didn't get nerfed on anything else on the game, even though he lost to Vettori by decision. Vettori got a +1 on his top control, +1 on his punch power, +1 on his body, +2 on his head movement, +1 on his bottom control, +2 on his chin, and +1 on his recovery. So Vettori coming out with kind of a big buff right there, and much more usable character in that middleweight division. One of my all-time favourite fights right now, Sandhagen versus Peter Yan. Peter Yan came through in that fight, and again, just like Rose Namajunas, suffered some adversity but came through. I believe that the early rounds Corey was doing really well, but Yan took over, just showed his class and showed some of the nicest combos you've probably ever seen in MMA. So Peter Yan gets a +1 on his block, a +2 on his head movement, a +2 on his top control, a +3 on his submissions, a +1 on his chin, and a +1 on his legs. While Corey Sandhagen doesn't take too much of a loss on that one as well. He gets a lot of upgrades. He got a +2 in his accuracy, +1 in his takedowns, -2 in his bottom control, +2 in his cardio, a +2 in his chin, and a +3 on his recovery. Great fight from both guys, and that's what we want to see in the UFC going forward. Amazing classics like that one. And wow, another amazing fight. Geisha versus Chandler, probably one of the all-time classics. A bit of a slugfest, you know. The defense wasn't quite there for both guys, more so Chandler than Geisha, but Geisha comes out with the unanimous decision and gets the win. Geisha gets an upgrade of +1 to his punch power, +2 to his block, +1 to his cardio, +1 to his chin, +4 to his legs, +1 to his recovery, while Chandler gets a +1 to his top control, a +1 to his sub defense, a +1 to his ground striking, but then he gets a -2 to his cardio, a -1 to his chin, which is surprising considering he lasted 3 rounds in there and kind of held out, a +2 on his legs, and a +4 on his recovery. I'm still kind of baffled by the -2 on his chin. His cardio makes sense, but the chin, he just went 3 rounds with just a Geisha and survived all 3 rounds. So it's I'd just love to know how EA Sports kind of decides on these stats. Colby Covington versus Kamaru Usman. Colby Covington started to rally late in that fight, but Usman kind of took control early on in the fight and did a fantastic job of beating him to the punch and just dominating the fight in every area. Colby Covington, I believe, got him down, but let's have a look at what the upgrades are for Colby here. So Colby got a +3 to his punch power, a +3 to his accuracy, a +3 to his footwork, a +10 to his switch stance, a +4 to his kick power, a +4 to his kick speed, a +1 to his cardio, a -1 to his chin, and a +4 to his recovery. That is some incredible stats right there that have been upgraded to. And then you got Usman with a -1 to his block, a +1 to his head movement, a +3 to his takedown defense, even though I believe he got taken down. They didn't count it, which is weird. You have wrestling experts telling him that's a takedown and they still don't count it. A +1 to his kick speed, a +2 to his sub defense, and a +1 to his cardio. But Colby Covington comes away from this and gets the biggest push, the biggest boost I've ever seen from a fighter in a long time. Amazing work for both guys, but yeah, Colby Covington's going to be a force in that welterweight division right now. And finally, we get to the featured fighter, which is Islam Makhachev. We've got +1 to punch power, +1 to his block, +2 to his head movement, +2 to his footwork, +1 to his takedown defense, +3 to his kick power, +1 to his kick speed, +1 to his takedowns, a +1 to his sub, a +1 to his sub defense, a +1 to his cardio, a -2 on his chin. Doesn't make sense to me at all. +2 to his legs, +2 to his recovery, +2 to his top control, and +1 to his bottom control. Obviously, he just beat Dan Hooker in a spectacular fashion in the first round by submission. Where does that -2 on his chin come from? Can anybody in the comments answer that one? I love the amount of adjustments, and they're only small ones, but there are lots of different adjustments there, making him top tier fighter as well, and making him somebody that people can use. So it'll be interesting how people go forward and use Islam Makhachev in the UFC 4 game. But yeah, so this has been fighter updates. Hopefully this has been helpful for you guys. I will leave all the updates in the comments below. Check that out, and please hit that like and subscribe button. It helps me out massively. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.